Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome back. We've got some challenging to do. I think we've got a bit more time left on Blue Takes a Vacation. We got 2 days. So I know my last video I got it out way too late to be helpful. So I just wanted to post up uh, probably a couple videos with a couple different planeswalkers for folks who are just wanting to break up the monotony of the meta that's pretty solidified, with Teferi being basically, you know, in a tier almost of themselves. But of course, Liliana's competitive, Ral and Domri, and a few others. But I know for myself, I love when we have a bit of variety. And for this challenge, if you have not played it, aptly named Blue Takes a Vacation, you cannot play any blue planeswalkers. Also, we've got our new planeswalker that's going to be coming out, so that's really, really exciting. And honestly, this just gives me an excuse to try some other decks. And, like, yeah, sometimes you play against folks who maybe don't have everything they need for their collection, but I think it's really fun when you just have a completely different meta, right? Because taking blue out of the picture definitely shapes a lot of different things. So, let's jump right in. Gotta give a shout out to Vraska. It's been a long time since this deck was on my channel, and honestly, I feel like when it comes to value and really grinding people out, having some of the best removal in the game in Turn to Stone, which in particular I've played a bit against Liliana in this event, who I do think is a competitive deck, and maybe we'll get some gameplay of that. But Turn to Stone is an excellent card for that matchup. But for those of you who may be like, well, why aren't we running any sort of value land? That's because this is Blue Takes a Vacation Big Vraska. And as you can see, we're running things like Overrun, Primal Summoning, which is a card that I haven't played too much. I think it's maybe a little better in decks like Nissa. But we wanted to try it out here and see how it feels. Of course, Crush and Wurms always being a great curve topper. But I would say the core of pretty much every Vraska deck, we'll get started talking about that, is Mysterious Cocoon for those pesky aggro decks, getting a lot of value. Birds of Paradise, again, a chump blocker, something you can sacrifice, something that gives you value for the fragile mana gems. Vraska's Throne, always said this, when you have Throne and you have Finale creatures, Vraska is like operating on a different tier. The deck becomes has a crazy amount of card advantage when you've got this card in your opening hand. Merchant of Death, 2-1 for 2, draw a card, right? Often you're going to be able to draw 2 cards off of it when you're sacrificing it. Infectious Scorpion, I don't know why, but this is the only foil card I have. So we're running it, which is great. And sorry for my voice, definitely, well, hopefully not coming down with something, but might be. All right, Grudge Match. I always really love this card for many reasons, but it felt always so good in Vraska because it's just another way to get Finale triggers on your turn and get value out of it. Grub. So this was nerfed, a patch ago, which was almost a month and a half ago, I think now. But it's still very serviceable as a 3-2 for 2. Grotesque, just one of the best things you can curve into early to sacrifice something. It's just a big body they have to deal with. Hermit, just really good for those pesky aggro decks. It also provides extra bodies for, Overrun potentially. But also sacrificing the sheep can sometimes be very relevant. And it's just a really solid card. I think in most green decks, I really appreciate running that card. Krav generates a lot of value in this deck, right? Basically, this debut trigger doesn't say anything in a deck like Vraska because you want to kill the creatures that you have. And then we were playing just the all-stars of 1-for-1 removal and Flagrant Foul, and then Turn to Stone, which is way more than a 1-for-1 because usually you're just getting a free 2-2 out of it. You're blanking any Finale triggers that your opponent has. And in particular against Liliana, what this card does is it transforms their creature into a 2-2, and therefore it's not in the graveyard anymore as a copy of the zombie, it's a copy of this. So what that means is you're essentially like exiling if we go to Magic metaphor for a second, their card, which is really, really powerful in this game, because Exile doesn't exist in this game. Primeval Titan, just a big beefy boy, as I like to say, and generates mana for you to just keep going up and up and up. Overrun, I'll be honest, this deck might want to run too. There's just so many times where I've got like all these little like 2/3s and 3/2s and 2/1s and whatever else, where like, oh, if I just overrun this turn and then next turn I do it again, they're probably dead. And then Primal Summoning is really cool. Let me tell you, when you draw 4 cards and you play a Crush of Wurms for free in the late game, it feels pretty insane. It's just a really fun card for those who haven't played with it. And then Crush of Wurms, just a board game, card advantage creature all-star. So that's pretty much it. I really haven't played a lot of Vraska recently, but I thought I'd have a couple games on this run, and thought I would share the rest with y'all. So let's get in there and compete. I hope everybody's doing well. I know the game has felt a little, I wouldn't say stale for me, but I definitely haven't been playing as much. But I'm fresh off the Logan tournament that came through, and I'll be giving a tournament report on that pretty soon. And here we go. All right. So into Liliana. So I do think Liliana is one of the front runners for playing in this event, if you're trying to farm as many materials as possible, which I think we all are. But I'm excited to play this matchup and see who comes up victorious. So they don't typically pressure early. Flagrant Foul also can be quite awkward, so I'm going to ship this all back, actually, and see what we get. Okay. Alright, well, Overrun is a win condition for us. So, and we've got a decent curve here. Oh, we actually have 1, 2, 3, which is pretty solid. And hopefully we hit our turn to stones when we need them. You definitely can lose this matchup when you don't. Okay, playing Die Hard, so this might just be a run-of-the-mill sort of aggro Liliana list, which would be kind of refreshing to play into. Question is, would I rather save Infectious Scorpion to kind of hold and get the Doom, the Fatal Infections later? And I think the answer is yes. So I'm just going to run the Grub out first. And if they want to attack and trade, I think I'm fine to take 3, because I'd rather attack them and get the extra mana gems. And also, I don't really love giving them cheapened zombies on their turn. It's not something I'm generally trying to do when I play this game. Okay, Neurobot. So this looks like probably a Liliana budget list. But, even in the Liliana budget list, I've seen the one-turn win combo, so gotta be wary of that. So this is interesting. I think I actually like grudge matching this to be able to attack through, and then we kind of get a 2-for-2 going. If we attack here and trade, that's fine, I guess. Maybe I should save the grudge match for something I really, really care about. So we might be a little mana inefficient here. I mean, this is a pretty free block, even though we get multiple mana. I could sacrifice this to Grotesque and use and try and get ahead that way. I guess that's a pretty reasonable line. I mean, we're not in range of Flagrant Foul yet. Flagrant Foul, that would be an interesting card. So I think that this is a good way to play our curves so far. We'll see how they develop their board this turn. Imrith. Okay. I remember there was like a zombie kind of mill build. It's been a long time since I've seen something like that. This is a pretty free grudge match. Although I kind of want to power up another creature. I think we just want to get this off the board. And they probably do have Flagrant Foul. But obviously I'm going to keep advancing our game plan. So we could play Infectious and keep all of our gems, or we could play Hermit and flip. I think we want more pressure. I think using 1 mana gem to do that is totally fine. So if they fell this, they're still going to take 5 next turn. Then we can play out our Scorpion, our very cool shiny Scorpion. At some point, I do want to have a bunch of foils for a deck. I just haven't really landed on, like, what is my favorite deck. Because I do tend to rotate. I'll play something for a while, and then I'll kind of rotate off. Okay. Yeah, Goliath is always kind of an annoying card to deal with. So how do we want to deal with it? So if they attack in, they're just going to do that. I think, honestly, we can probably just sit here for a sec. Play our Scorpion. Because obviously that would be the best thing to block. And we can kind of afford to sit here because next turn we potentially overrun, or the turn after that we can Primal Summoning. So it is the benefit of having Bayou. You just know you're going to hit your land drops, and it really helps you plan out some of your turns. This looks like Zombify? Which I'm glad they're not zombifying this after they attacked or something. So maybe they're just zombifying the Diehard fan? Or it's Anticipate if they are running blue. Could be that. Oh, Eldritch Tutor. Jeez, forgot about that card. Prankster, okay. I remember when I didn't have certain RAL cards, so I played Prankster in RAL, which honestly was fine. But these it's unfortunate because, like, these spirit cards that give you, that are essentially 3-for-1s, they're just not that. They're just not good enough for the most part. So how do we want to do that? I mean, I think this is just like an incredible amount of damage, right? This is 10, 15, 22. I can do math. Plus 4 is 26. And they have 4 toughness, so they would go to 2. Oh, but then they'll gain 1 up to 3, and they get to double trade. So trade, huh? But they go to 3. They trade. Yeah, it's honestly not that good. I can just wait and potentially Primal Summoning next turn, which I think is a lot more powerful. I could offer the trade here. I think we'll definitely get in with at least the Scorpion, because they don't want to block it. Something I gotta remember with Vraska, because it's been so long since I played her, is like, these essentially read as unblockable unless you want to give your enemy card advantage. So I probably should have attacked with the Grub too. Oh no, I just played the Grub. What am I thinking? Yep, there's the foul. That's okay. I mean, Primal Summoning into a Titan would be sick. Turn to Stone. Okay, that I really, really like. On this. And then we have a pretty solid attack. I think I prefer to do that. Or we could Summoning. You know what? Let's just crash in. Crash in with these. And save Turn to Stone for like an actual zombie that we need to deal with. Even if they get this back, it doesn't do a whole lot. Okay. Just get more mana. And let's just fire off the Summoning. Okay. Anything good? Yeah, there they are. There's Primetime Live. Yeah, I'm down to use my 2 mana gems for this. Alright, we've also got the foul for next turn if we need it, but we also still have our Turn to Stone. But I think Overrun, unless they develop a lot of creatures, should be enough. That's 5. 7, 12, plus 5, 17, plus 9, 26, plus 4 is 30. Okay, so they gain 1. They've got 6, 7, 8 toughness exactly. So if they play another creature, they're not strictly dead to Overrun. But okay, Shell Game's annoying, but not even that much of a deal breaker. Yeah, so this... Yeah. We just want to use all our mana. It's not lethal, I don't think. Plus the 16, plus 9. Yeah. I think go... Is it 2, maybe? The passive? So they don't have a good block on this. Or this. Okay. Imagine they don't want to give me 2 cards here. Oh. Okay. Yep, they go to 2. And I'll just chump block here if I need to. Potentially got double removal spell next turn. They'll also just have Crush of Wurms, which kind of just burying them in card advantage. Who knows? I mean, they've got maybe Foul plus some decent 4-drop. That could be good. I'll block here. And I'll take my card, actually. See what they got. Oh, Dave's Judgment. Okay, I was not expecting that. Well, let's just close things out with a big old worm. I mean, if they have another Day of Judgment, that'd be pretty good. But I think other than that, this is going to be pretty tough for our opponent to get out of. Okay, Ebondeath is decent, though. Okay, they go to 3, but we've got double removal spell, so that should be GG. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. All right, Vraska. We love to see it. So they can block as their first block, and 1 up to 4. Block is their second block, but they take 6. So, this is lethal, in fact. Come on. I see where your best line is, but there's not much else you can do. Axel Shovel Face. Oh, maybe they disconnected. Hello? Okay, I guess they did disconnect. Alright, well on our way to the max gem payout. Alright, let's just get right back in there. Hopefully we can see some other matchups. Cool, yep. Get my gems, excellent. Boom. Let's go. Chandra. Okay. Cool. I think traditionally we can do pretty well against Chandra, especially having the shepherds for life gain and slowing things down. Okay, these are all great. I'll ship back the Titan. Excellent. This is so good. This is exactly the kind of hand you want against aggro. Path of the Barbarian. I don't think I've seen Chandra run that. So this should be interesting. Let's get that good old Cocoon down there. It's really nice that we aren't forced to like play our Fragile Mana Gem either. Electromage. Interesting. So do I run out the Grotesque or do I just run out? I think I'm just going to run out of Death. Because I do want to try and hold on to this Mana Gem, maybe to play Prime Time. Because you still get the gem when he comes into play. We do have to make sure we're not susceptible too much to, whatchamacallit, Flame Shot. So. Alright. Okay. Thankfully I can block here. I was about to say, if I'm taking 7 or 8, that's pretty unfortunate. Yeah, I can't really afford to take 7 here, I don't think. We'll get something we could probably sack to Grotesque anyway. Oh, well. I like that. So they can't block, so we get a free attack. And then I think the line is just play Cocoon, get a bunch more creatures, make it even harder for them to connect. I mean, this deck might be running Arcane Flight. Like, I could see that. Oh, wow. We got a Finale creature. Sick. And I do think the low curve build runs that. Okay. Yeah. Flame Shot's annoying, I will say, but obviously we're going to block here. Just saving any life is just super, super important against Chandra. Yep. They also just, you know, are playing spells based to buff that creature, so we need a lot when we take it off the board. Although if I knew I was going to have Flagrant Foul, I might not have done that. Oh, man. Having no play there really, really hurts. Okay, Vampire, pump it. That's fine. It's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I think you're going to attack. Yep, there it is. Alright, well. Play out our bird. Okay, with Crags, we definitely want to block. Okay, we're going to go double 3-drop. Yeah. Alright, we'll block whichever one gets pumped. Yep, that's fine. Alright, we're getting pretty low here, but just play our big primetime live. Do I want to play Throne? I don't think I need to at the moment. Rage, sure. And then pump this, attack me. Yeah, this makes sense. Yeah. Thinking of blocking here, going to 9 because I want to turn to stone this anyway. We also have Primal summoning next turn. If we hit Crush of Wurms, it's pretty much game over. So yeah, I think I'll just do that. Save as much life as possible. Oh, Well, there's also Hermit. Well, I love that. But should we just summon? Probably. Okay, well, I will just play out Hermit. Because it gives us the most bodies. And they've still got 2 Emberlings in their hand that we know of. Okay. I think we just go here. Block here. So it's going to be close. Definitely been able to play a lot of cards that make things difficult for us. Okay. Let's have these fight. And then I think let's go you. I could have him flip potentially. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. I'll block here. Although I'm probably just going to turn to stone the Pyromancer. So this Infection's not really going to see much play. Oh, we could also Grudge match too. I think let's just use our mana efficiently. Let's get an extra blocker. Actually down to sacrifice this to Throne. Okay, so we can get Cocoon. Let's play these out. Attack for 7. Alright, I mean, still not out of the woods. Oh. Alright, well, turn to stone we definitely need to deal with. I do want to be able to race them here, so maybe, you know what, let's just block here. Because they're going to have no blockers, so if we get Overrun off the top, I think we win. But okay, Krav is solid. Let's draw some cards. Ooh, I do like that one. Okay. Gonna sack Grub here. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, Soul of the Wood's pretty good. Oh, I forgot turn to stone. If my board's full, they get an extra one, but that's okay. We've got a Grudge match anyway with our Soul of the Wood. I feel like now pretty favored. Okay, Lava Axe, yep. Shock, okay. And Fling? Oh my god. I was like, I think we lose. So attack with everything. But they block, they take, yeah, it's lethal. But I guess might as well just do this for good measure. Wow, if they had Fling there, we were dead. That's crazy. Crazy. Pretty close game, honestly. Took us a little while to establish a board after that flame shot. So that was definitely good by them. And there were a couple turns there. If they had flame shot, we might have been dead. But can't really play around everything, especially when you're behind. If you want to eke out those wins, you're going to have to take riskier lines of play. Alright, see if we can get the max win here, baby. Let's get that last W for the collection. I'm like, God, I forget exactly how many cards away I am from completing my collection for the set so far, but we're not too far off, which is sweet, because guess what? We are free to play. Not spent any money on this game, but I have been playing pretty religiously since, I don't know, September, October, I forget when. Okay, so against Sarah, I do want to close out the late game, but I'll definitely just start with these. Cool. Okay. Love to see it. So they're running, interesting, they're running refreshment stand. I wonder what they're thinking for that is. Okay, if they're running Vanguard, then their odds are they're a more aggressive deck. Ooh, I'll take a Fire Mind Bolt. Alright. I think this is a really great opener, so I'm just going to do it. Oh my goodness, Gristlebrand, huh? So we can play Merchants, and we get another Vraska's Throne out of our deck, which seems pretty decent. But actually, Detonator doesn't seem like the worst thing. It's kind of a big creature they have to deal with. Pier? Okay. Interesting one. I don't hate it. Like, I think Gristlebrand is pretty solid to take. It's just, we're so far away from playing it. Okay. Well, I like that you aren't representing any sort of shenanigans. So that's fine. And I might just trade Pier for this. I don't love that, but I don't really see a better line. Question is, I might want to go Scorpion into, but this is more pressure anyway. Because next turn we can just go Birds into Grotesque, potentially. I mean, we do have to watch out for a Chroma. It's how they go over the top, so. Okay, well, I'm not really interested in trading here. So then I'm going to take 8 damage. And they don't, I mean, depending, they might have Path of Exile for Grotesque, but I think I'm going to go Bird and Grotesque on my Bird and pass the turn. And I guess I will trade my Detonator for this, for the War Leader. And we've got Fire Mind Bolt for whatever they follow up with. Oh, Guard. Interesting. Okay, well, I love that they didn't attack, because now I actually have a much better use for Fire Mind Bolt. So, I'm going to do that first. And then I'm going to get in. Okay. Alright. Next turn we've got Turn to Stone. I mean, maybe it's Hermit flip, or we could go Hermit. Scorpion. Destabilize. Okay. Respect. Respect. Oh, interesting. Okay. Alright. That's a big enough target that I'm willing to just take the damage and then Turn to Stone. If they pump this instead, maybe we do something different, but we can attack through, which is kind of nice, so. Yoink. Attack. Okay. Still got our throne for Scorpion, so if they play some pretty decent stuff, might be the time to cash that in. And I haven't seen Pinpoint Avenger in such a long time. I mean, I think it's just because, like, the best decks are not... they don't really care about this card. But this used to be a really cool sort of counterplay to certain decks. This is a weird attack. I think I'm down to block here. Okay. They were just willing to trade this. Interesting. Sort of assumed they might want to pump it or something. Well, I'm going to attack. Having double summoning on turn 6 doesn't feel great, but it happens. Champion's Grid. Okay, that's fine. What do I want to do here? Kind of want to sack this to this. Maybe it's better to just... It's probably better to just keep up the pressure with Grotesque here. And because I've got time, I'm actually just going to do this. Because this heals up anyway. We could take the 3 and then it dies. Yeah, it's pretty good. Definitely the best card of her signature cards. Oh, and they're gonna bounce this. Oh, okay. It's a good play. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. I was confused. I was like, wait, did I attack? I did. Interesting. Let's get in. I think I actually like doing this. And then flipping. Gain a little bit of life. We're like a little down tempo on mana. But now I've got like a sack outlet potentially for Vraska, but I've also got Krav. Okay. Yep. Yep. Ooh, Grub. Interesting. Okay, I think I like sacking Grub first. Hoo 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 hoo. So if this happens twice, you get double vampires? Is that how that works? I'm going to take Ilharg, though. I think it just does a lot more. And we could just slam in here with the team. I'm going to trade this off. I do want to be able to attack through. We've also got Primal summoning next turn. So I'd rather just trade. They don't have any good blocks here. Definitely getting Ilharg off your Vraska's throne is pretty good. Especially in a matchup like this, just having more and more gas, more and more threats. That's what you have to do when you're playing mid-range. It's just being able to outgrind your opponent. I mean, they could have a chroma here, which is pretty scary. Not much I can do. Okay, thankfully it's not. Grudge match. Ooh. I do like me a grudge match. Ugh. Then I'm pretty committed to. Well, do we have lethal if we overrun? Okay, so let's say we fight here, right? This goes up to 5 power, so that's 8. This 10 is 18, plus 4 is 22. And you've got 4 life. Yeah, that should be it. Depending on if they have any like traps or anything. Should be lethal. Yep. Nice. Alright, well, kind of owe that win to Ilhard. Just coming in clutch on that turn. Nicely done. Alright. So we got through 3 games. I don't want to post the whole run. That's going to be way too long. And the deck's already kind of slow. But, yeah, my honest thoughts are, like, Vraska's just always good in a meta of, like, mid-range to some degree. But she's specifically better in a meta without blue decks because, Teferi and Jace are still pretty strong into her. So, just to throw up the deck again, I would give it a try. I mean, even if you don't have all the Primal summonings or Crush of Wurms, depending on your collection, I still think you could just go big and play overruns. I mean, this is just such a. I don't think everyone's really expecting for Vraska to be playing this card. It is really easy for you to because you're getting free mana gems off Grub anyway. Same with Birds of Paradise. You're kind of clogging up the ground. And then you can turn your really inconsequential creatures that have finales. Like Overrun just kind of naturally pairs really well with that. So, to be honest, I think I would probably cut maybe a Primal summoning and put another Overrun. That's kind of how it's felt. Like when I see the one Primal summoning, it's great. But like I don't often need a second one. So that would be my kind of closing thoughts with a run on this. But I do think it's really fun. You just get to play big creatures. You get, cool finale procs. So if you're looking for something, I think, competitive and spicy to play for the Blue Takes a Vacation event, I think you've got a fun one in this Vraska build. So I will catch you later, and thanks for joining.